Titans Ed here, back to do another video review. This time, going to be reviewing Transformers Combiner Wars Ironhide. Now I know I'm not some people are not the biggest fan of this figure, just due to the fact that, well, in his robot mode, Ironhide doesn't exactly look, you know, the kind of potbelly-ish old that most people expect him to be. But I argue, why does an old bot have to look potbelly-ish? But yes, this is the Combiner Wars Ironhide, which is just using, wasn't Wild Rider, it was, God, I can't, it was the replacement Stunticon, who's the pickup truck. I can't remember his name to save my life right now. But yes, now I don't actually display him with the hand-foot gun or his axe very often. In fact, I don't even use the axe all that much. I actually took two weapons from a Transformers Prime figure, Cup, who we all know is supposed to be Ironhide, but for some reason they painted him Cup. I guess they just didn't own the name to Ironhide at that particular moment. But yeah, I took basically his black cannons and I add them to Ironhide. And in vehicle mode, it kind of looks like he's got two giant black thrusters he uses to get around on the battlefield. I kind of like it. So yeah, I don't know if I've ever talked about Ironhide before. I don't think I've done a G1 Ironhide review of any kind. Ironhide is one of Optimus's oldest friends. I think it was insinuated that he was the other Autobot with Optimus back when he was Orion Pax, during that episode where the Aerialbots somehow ended up on the past of Cybertron, and ended up meeting Orion Pax before he was Optimus Prime. And I think it's insinuated that Orion Pax's girlfriend was Ilita 1, and the other guy was supposed to be Ironhide before he was Ironhide. But I don't think it was ever confirmed, and I may be wrong. He is throughout most of Generation 1 up until the G1 movie, where he is killed. In point of fact, he is the last Autobot standing on the Ark before Megatron just destroys him with his fusion cannon with the line of "such heroic nonsense." Then boom. So yeah, there's something that'll give you nightmares as a child. So yeah, this is him in robot mode, and him with the cannons I showed you earlier. They do fit on his arm quite well. I know some people are going to go say, oh, that gives him a movie Ironhide field, and oh, that's not good. It's like, I don't care. That was the one thing I liked about some of the changes the movies did, and Ironhide being a little bit more badass is one of them. I don't have any repro labels, though I am planning on getting some repro labels for him, because I severely think he needs it. But you could give him his hand-foot gun and his peg it there and give him his axe. Yeah, they're okay. But yeah, he's not a bad figure. Now, I will warn you, when converting him into his limb modes, be very careful with his head. His head has a tendency of popping off if it gets caught on anything. And I think this is to do with the fact that this was molded from another figure which had a completely different sized head, or a different design of head, which had more ornamentation than Ironhide's does, so it has a tendency of getting caught on certain things when you convert him to limb modes, particularly the leg limb mode. But basically, I'll show you that in a second. And that's his leg mode. It's nothing too special. It's just pretty much him folded up in his truck mode, except with his front of the truck turned into a knee pad and the combiner port out. Nothing too fancy or spectacular. Now, I will say this. One thing I have done, and I probably can fix this with nail polish, but for right now, temporarily, I have put electrical tape on the points which connects his feet together, or connects his legs together, when they're being used both in truck mode or in his robot, or his arm limb mode for Combiner Wars. Just because for some reason, I don't know if it's the mold's already suffering degradation or whatever, but they just weren't tight enough to hold together. And that little bit of tape I've wrapped around one end seems to be just strong enough to hold together without too much trouble. Again, I could probably just fix it with a good layer of finished floor polish, but yeah. This is his limb mode. I do like the limb mode a little bit better over the leg mode. I think the limb mode just has a little bit more personality to it compared to others, which just kind of keep the arm stock straight. Here, it actually makes use of the fact his arms can bend the exact bend backwards, and uses it to kind of make a little bit more of a decorative arm. So yeah, that's not too bad. But yeah, overall, I think this figure is definitely worth picking up. If you were disappointed by the Universe Ironhide mold like I was, I definitely think this figure is worth picking up. If you're looking to form the Optimus Supreme or whatever the Battlecore Optimus Prime, aka Nova Prime, makes, he's definitely worth it. On his own, again, unless you were really disappointed by that Universe Ironhide, I could guess he's a pass. But if you don't have him and want an Ironhide, I think this is a definite good substitute. Out of all the repaints for Generation 1 figures, I'd say that they did next to the Cup figure, I'd say this is another one you should definitely consider picking up if you want a replacement for a crappy Universe figure. But what can I say? It's just my opinion, and if yours differ, that's fine. But until next time, this is Titan Zed saying I'll see ya when I see ya.